you?
My name is Bond.
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 James Bond.
This week should have seen Bond fans the world over celebrating the release of No Time to Die. But with Daniel Craig's final outing as cinema's greatest ever secret agent delayed, we thought we'd instead look back on the most successful James Bond films in history. And so, with their worldwide box office numbers adjusted for inflation, here are the 10 highest grossing 007 movies of all time.
You just killed James Bond.
Is that who it was?
Bond fans thought that Sean Connery had hung up the Walther PPK following the release of You Only Live Twice in 1967. But after a brief fling with George Lazenby in the lead, the filmmakers and the audience wanted him back.
There's some problem?
A bigger budget, the return of Goldfinger director Guy Hamilton, and an eye-watering pay packet for its leading man ensured that Diamonds Are Forever was a surefire hit.
Thank you very much. I was just out walking my rat and I seem to have lost my way.
The only big screen 007 outing to be set predominantly in the US, the movie proved a massive success stateside, breaking the American box office record for its opening weekend. Possibly my favourite part of Diamonds Are Forever is when Bond pulls off one of the most audacious car stunts ever seen on screen at the time.
Lean over.
Forget the fact that the car goes into the alley leaning one way, but comes out on its opposite wheels, and just enjoy the ride. At 9, James Bond goes to California, Venice, Rio, the Amazon rainforest, and, oh yeah, space. Following the huge success of Star Wars in 1977, the Bond producers decided to shelve the plan to adapt For Your Eyes Only and instead set their sights on another of Ian Fleming's novels, one that gave them the opportunity to take their main character where he'd never been before. At 8, and one of only 2 debuts for 007 actors on our countdown.
Well, I understand 00s have a very short life expectancy.
Casino Royale put Bond back on top by going back to basics. Daniel Craig slipped effortlessly into the perfectly tailored tuxedo to bring the character into the 21st century while taking inspiration from Ian Fleming's original books.
I'm the money.
Every penny of it.
It would set fans, filmmakers, and their leading man on the path to a new level of 007 popularity and almost unimaginable success at box offices all around the world. From its spectacular opening to its tongue-in-cheek end.
Bond, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British hand up, sir.
The Spy Who Loved Me had it all. Incredible action, spectacular locations, an unforgettable theme song, mind-blowing ideas, amazing sets, and possibly the greatest baddie in Bond history. Packed with iconic 007 moments from start to finish, it's no wonder the movie remains a huge fan favourite and a high watermark for the Roger Moore era. With spectacular sets and spectacular set pieces, You Only Live Twice upped the scale of the Bond movies and gave audiences something they'd never seen on screen.
Oh, that's stirred, not shaken. That was right, wasn't it?
Perfect. Cheers.
The incredible volcano base cost as much as the entire budget of Dr. No only 5 years earlier, but to be fair, every penny spent on the movie is right up there on screen. Shot across 3 continents and making full use of cutting-edge equipment of the period, You Only Live Twice helped 007 stay one step ahead of an army of pretenders on both big and small screens at the time. With Sean Connery finally saying goodbye to Bond, officially at least, with Diamonds Are Forever, the 007 producers turned to an actor previously in the running when Sean Connery first took the role. Roger Moore took the series in a lighter, more family-friendly direction, perfect for audiences at the time, and no less successful at the box office. The small screen premiere of Live and Let Die in 1980 remains, to this day, the most watched broadcast for a film in UK TV history. And it still stands up to repeated viewing today. Not least a brilliant moment that sees Bond surrounded on all sides by deadly crocodiles with no way out. Well, seemingly no way out. Next up, it's 007's latest and evidently 4th greatest adventure. Legal wrangling behind the scenes on the movies meant that both Bond's greatest foe and the mysterious criminal organisation that he ruled over had been kept off screen for decades. But by 2015, Ernst Stavro Blofeld and Spectre were back.
It was all me, James, the author of all your pain.
While both Dr. No and From Russia with Love set the tone for everything that was to come in the 007 series, it was Goldfinger that brought all the elements together to create the perfect Bond formula. The first on our countdown to break the $1 billion mark after inflation, the movie changed the audience's expectation of what a Bond film could be by shifting the focus from spy thriller to out-and-out adventure romp. You could spend this entire show and most of the rest of the day choosing a favourite from all the iconic moments in Goldfinger, but if it had to be just one, come on, it's got to be the laser, right?
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
It might be a bit of a surprise to some that the second most successful Bond movie of all time is 1965's Thunderball.
Ciao.
But 140 million ticket-buying audience members can't be wrong. And so, with over $1 billion earned at the worldwide box office even before inflation, our #1 highest-grossing James Bond film of all time is
Skyfall.
Like with Goldfinger for Connery and The Spy Who Loved Me for More, it was Daniel Craig's third outing as 007 that really saw the formula click both on screen and with audiences around the world.
Not exactly Christmas, is it? Were you expecting an exploding pen? We don't really go in for that anymore.
And if you must push me for a favourite moment, well, it's got to be Daniel Craig making sure he doesn't miss the train.
Are you all right?
Just changing carriages.
So you know the name, and now you know the numbers. That's the top most money-spinning Bond movies adjusted for inflation. I'll see you next time for another movie countdown on the Top 10 show.
Done.